Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Fola, and today I want to talk to you about a very powerful tool with coping with challenging emotions. And so tune in, okay? So welcome back everyone, and I'm so grateful to have you showing up here, whether you're new or returning. And on this channel, we talk about spirituality, mental health, and the bridge between these worlds. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of any future videos or releases, and so that you're kind of updated with our community and the things that are happening here. But let's get right into this important topic, this really important skill I've been trying to practice, even though it's sometimes really uncomfortable. And a great example happened just the other week. I was in a board meeting with our nursing peer group, and I was having a lot of intense emotion. It was just like coming up. Don't really know what it was. Was it just mine? I didn't feel like it. I personally feel like it has to do with kind of the collective energies right now around like racism and all these sorts of divisions, I guess, that we're seeing really being brought to light. But usually, to those of you that might know me, like personally, I feel like I'm a pretty calm, grounded, chill person. But for whatever reason, like this meeting, I was just like, well, there were some reasons. I was doing some things in my personal life that probably were impacting me. Hangry much. But this meeting, I was just like really like becoming irate. Like it seemed like everyone was saying was really bugging me. I was just like super on edge, being really conflictual. Not argumentative, but just like calling things out. But at the same time, they were like super important things for me at that time. I just felt really passionate to make sure that my voice was being heard. And I felt as though I was being like a representative of, different groups of people and so forth within this meeting. But as I was in this meeting and I could start to feel my like fellow board members, they're like uncertainty and their energy of like even offense and defense coming up, I really was like, oh crap, like this is probably going to backfire on me. Something needs to change right now. And so what I ended up doing is not really something I think that we're always told to do. Usually when we're feeling angry or upset, we've always just been told like, just put it off to the side, right? Don't bring it up, just ignore it, and like so forth. But what I found to be the most helpful, the most healing in terms of dealing with challenging emotions is to just simply name it. Call it out for what it is. It's like as soon as we put a name or at least acknowledge that we're feeling a certain way or experiencing something, it like completely dissolves the like intense energy around it. And so what I did, which again, it takes a little bit of courage because you don't want to admit that you're upset. You don't necessarily want to be seen as like weaker than or as you're struggling or whatever the case might be. It's vulnerability, right? Like no one wants to feel vulnerable. But I just right out said like, listen, ladies, like I think I'm like working through a lot of things right now and I just feel super like uneasy. And I didn't have to explain all the other things that were going on in my life at that time. That kind of came out later in some private one-on-one conversations with some of them. This was just this beautiful reminder that as soon as I like stand there and name what I'm going through, it helps like dissolve that like tension. And literally it did. It was as if that just like this weight lifted off of me. And I think what was really happening was as soon as I named it and put it out on the table for everyone there to just be aware of, it's like they no longer were feeling defensive or offensive. It was like they saw me as, okay, Fola's just this other human. Like she's going through maybe a challenging time. We all do. And it completely shifted the energy. I did apologize maybe another time or two just because I was like, yeah, like this is totally not like me. I do feel bad for bringing this out here to everyone else. I tend to like to not like involve other people with my stuff. But yeah, it was just a beautiful realization. And I hope to kind of just leave that with you today to remember, if you are going through a challenging time, maybe it's worth naming the emotion, maybe even if it's just to one person or to the person or persons that you're maybe having the struggle with. And maybe it's just to yourself to kind of start off. because I know that happens too, where it's just like energy moving, emotions moving through the body. As soon as I label it, or as soon as I acknowledge what's going on, instead of trying to run and avoid it all the time, it kind of like just starts to dissipate. So a really simple tool. Let us know in the comments if this is something that supported you on your journey, and I look forward to catching you in the next video. Take care.